Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. Still not sponsored by Lancaster Insurance. Maybe one day. Good morning. Today is the 25th of March, and here we are once again entering the NEC for the 2023 Practical Classics Classic Car and Restoration Show. Filmed 6 parts yesterday of the Slightly Shambolic Shuffle. Probably got another 6 today, another 6 tomorrow at this rate. It's going to be a long one, but it's not going to be as long as last November's NEC Classic Car Show, which was 22 parts in total. So I do apologise in advance once again if I fall over, if I get things wrong, which happens all the time, if I get interrupted by announcements, music, if people start waving at me and I have to go past them. It's just a way that it goes on this channel. So yes, this is part 7, and we shall be entering Hall 3A to begin. So over on the Peter S. Taylor stand, we've got this E12 BMW 5 Series, but obviously awaiting some restoration. It's got the front wings on it, for example. My gosh, that's an early one. 72-73 plate. These came out around the time of the Munich Olympics in 1972. Can't remember offhand. I think this is a 6-cylinder engine. Obviously we can maybe take a look and see. No, it looks like a Ford to me. It actually says the model number on there, E12. Not really an expert on these sort of cars. Mr. Coleman, rubbish mechanic, would be able to tell you more. Let's leave before my ignorance is found out. 1975 BMW 1602. Wow. Just a rare specification. This is the Aselli stand. We're into the sort of dealer section of the show here. It does look rather nice. This is that Aston Martin engine there, 6.3 litre. So the 2002s are better known than these. Do we have a price? £40,000, 3,000 miles from new. And same ownership, 45 years. Well, that's probably why that's that price. Oh, an Aston Martin V8. Personally, I prefer the later ones of these, such as the one used in Living Daylight. This is 74. It's up for about £90,000. It's an auto. And I keep also thinking, when looking at this rear end, of the DBS that was used in the Persuaders, driven by Roger Moore, which was a DBS 6-cylinder with V8 wheels. I think it's called Bahama Yellow, that colour. If you want a slice of kind of Bond and Bond-related things, then that's the one to go for. 1957 MGA Roadster. So this is Old English White. I've been wondering what colour Old English White is, and here we are. Someone's put a Mazda 5-speed gearbox in it. That's a sensible upgrade. It's got a 1950cc engine, rated brakes and cooling and electrics. Probably sensible kind of thing for better use, although that gear lever still looks very sort of period, doesn't it? Even though it's not an authentic one. Someone's got a chassis here. What chassis is this? That's also got that 5-speed gearbox in it. Is this an MGA chassis? Yes, it is. Oh, we've got another MGA here as well. How much is this one? Oh, it's POA. Oh, viewers. First of the day, a beige leather interior. I do like a nice beige leather interior. And the wooden steering wheel's there too, that's good. What gearbox is that? That's not the same gearbox as the other two. It doesn't say. Oh well. What have we got here? Sally Anniversary Edition. It is an MGB again with Mazda 5 speed. It's a modified MGB. It's got the black trim on it. This will probably be a later one than with a black trim on it. Would have had rubber bumpers originally, but it's been registered with an earlier plate on it. But it's nice though. And so's this. More Aston Martin goodness. How much is this then? £36,000. It's a 2007 Vantage Roadster. That's a nice view, isn't it? And then we've got an MGB, sort of like the one that Alexandra Bastedo drove in the Champions. It's in a couple of episodes. There's actually two of them in this colour. One's an earlier one, one's a later one. They're both in this colour. One of the episodes has a hard top as well. So this is 64, iris blue, 1950 stage 2 Aselli engine with the carburettor. £35,000. Original hard top, original soft top. This hasn't got the Mazda 5-speed in it actually, this one, amazingly. It's got the original gearbox in it. Can't remember at this stage actually, 64, whether they actually had synchromesh on first. Later MGB certainly did. And more MGB goodness here. Yeah, this will be a bit of a later one, won't it, with that interior. 72. That's only £27,000. That's also got the Aselli upgrade. It's a stage 2 engine, no carburettor. Ooh. Now, almost a full beige leather interior. It's a DB7. Would you like a nice DB7, viewers? Vantage Volante, £40,000. I mean, it's a blue and a beige interior. So it's not quite the ideal specification, but it's not far off. We have got wood. Wood's a manual as well, viewers, and the handbook's on the right, like a Porsche 924. That colour though, that dark blue, is rather tasty. Ooh, we've got a Nova here. It's sort of custom front grille on that. So it's GTE, but that looks suspiciously like a bit more powerful engine. Novas are so rare these days. I have driven a Nova. It was a complete opposite to that one. It was a 1 litre trip saloon with a 4-speed gearbox. Ooh, Hurst Park classic cars. Do we have some tasty treats here, viewers? Well, we do, yes. 1961 Alvis TD21 drophead coupe by Park Ward, and of course it has a beige leather interior with wood, and it's an auto. Very nice, viewers, but I don't think I can quite afford this at £88,000. Never mind. Maybe we'll have more luck with this Jaguar E-Type. No, that's £105,000.
No, that's the trouble.
Has got power steering though, which in an E-Type, it's quite a good idea. I have driven an E-Type without power steering, and it was incredibly heavy to park. Never mind. Straight that actual episode 2 Jacket Reviews when I drove said E-Type, because it wasn't very popular at the time, despite the fact we made a good job of it. We went down to Bewley to film it actually. But this is yet a much later one. The one I drove was a Series 1, this is Series 3. I didn't realise Series 3s were so expensive, but maybe they are now. This midget as well. I think we've seen some of these cars actually at the London Classic Car Show last month, because Hurst Park were there as well. This midget is a 66. That's a bit more affordable, isn't it? About £14,000. It's an older restoration, and it's actually got exterior door handles, whereas the really early ones of these didn't have that. I have driven a midget, it was a 68, and that still didn't have synchromesh on first or a brake servo, which made it a bit tricky to drive. Got an SLK here, it's £11,000. It's the R171 model, SL350. I suppose those are sort of classics now, it's over 15 years old. Oh yes, and we know this Lancia Fulvia Coupe was built in South Africa apparently. Now these are quite rare. Ooh, £23,500 and beige leather interior with wood. Oh, viewers. That is very, very tempting. Unfortunately, I do not have the money to spend on this car, otherwise it might be coming home with me, but sadly not. Second chance, I think the money probably would be going more on this though. Look at this, viewers, an X308 Jaguar. It's a 2002, so it's a very late one. And of course it has a beige leather interior with wood. And it's only done 24,000 miles. Oh, viewers, and someone's already bought it. So I shall not be going home in this very, very tasty little Jaguar XJ8 SE. And another E-Type, another Series 3 with white wall tyres, and this looks like it's even more expensive than the last one. It's £130,000. Gosh, the Series 3 E-Type used to be what, 25 grand back in the day? Not now. Ooh, it's got a 5-speed in it as well. That'll make it better, won't it? I get a bit funny about those handbrakes because you don't operate them correctly on an E-Type. They sort of take the skin off your fingers if you're not careful. What else do we have here? Do we have some more tasty treats? Oh yes, we do, viewers, and there's also some more behind there. So, Chapel End cars, £22,000. MGTF 1250. It's an older restoration, but it's pretty good to me. Yeah, you can sort of tell if you really wanted to, you could repaint it, or you could just enjoy it like this. It looks it's pretty good like that, as it is really. And a Healy Sprite, Frog Eye Sprite, £29,000. Left-hand drive with 27,000 miles. Very good, viewers. I don't quite know where this stand ends and the other one begins. We've got some classic Fords to look at as well. We'll cover those in a second, because there's a particular classic Ford that I do want to see. So more MGB goodness here. Again, left-hand drive. This is specialised in these left-hand drive cars at Chapel End Cars, don't they? So this is an MGC. Sorry, so to be confused about that. It's an auto. I don't think I've ever seen an automatic MGC. Makes sense though with that big 6-cylinder engine. So 69, so it'd be one of the later ones. They only made these between 67 and 69, and there is the C series engine in there. They had to raise the bonnet a little bit to accommodate the shell of what was the MGB. Oh, Civic Jordan. Excellent. This looks like it's 99 to 2000 on a V. Does this actually even have a price on it? No, it doesn't. One lady owner from new, a very fast lady. Yeah, it says it's not, maybe not show condition, but I think that here we are at a show and it is in perfect condition. Don't know about that gear lever, that looks like it's an aftermarket one, but apart from that, that's really nice. Yeah, the 1.6 VTI, which is based on, was quite fast. This will be no faster, but it looks a bit more racy in that car, doesn't it? Right, more E-Type goodness, viewers. More left-hand drive. And this one is £65,000. It's 3.8 fixed head coupe. Yeah, there's a fair bit to do, isn't there? But once that's done, that'll be worth a pretty penny, I would imagine. And then we've got another MG midget. This one's a fair bit more expensive than that one that we have a stand. It's £23,000. Nut and bolt restoration Mark III. Yeah, the Mark III's I think got some upgrades, including a larger engine. Yeah, the shiny paint Looks brighter on camera than it is in real life, of course. They always do. Oh, shell only, 61 E-Type. If it's a flat floor one, viewers, I suppose we can look inside, can't we? And we can see. Looks like it. Could be wrong. That'd be worth a lot of money then. It's all been rubbed down and prepped. Obviously, you need everything else doing to it, doesn't it? Apart from just the shell. Now we've got some American Ford goodness in here, although also tremendous amounts of ignorance. People don't know anything about these. Yeah, it's a Mercury. I'll take that as sort of knowing what I'm talking about. About 49 Mercury. And as Mr. Bill from the Fuel Power channel says, it is for sale. Contact Nick on 07831257388. There we go, there is all the history there. True survivor. Right, viewers, now we've got some more classic Fords of which I am a bit more familiar. Wow. I think this is solar gold on this Capri. I could be wrong. It's a 1981 Ford Capri 2-litre S. It's very similar to the one that would have been used by Martin Shaw in the very last series of the Professionals. I think it was solar gold. There were a few similar ones used. The last two series of the Professionals, which were filmed in 1980 and 1981, used two different 3-litre S Capris. The last one was a slightly different colour from the previous one. But yeah, the color check interior, look, that is a really, really nice car. Let's take a look in here as well. I think that's had the Type 9 5-speed put in it. It would have come with a 4-speed originally. But wow, that is absolutely insane. Also got a very nice Mark III Cortina here. That is it's beautiful, isn't it? It's GT. Wonder if we actually know exactly what year it is. So it's an M, so 73, 74. She's locally registered here in Birmingham. Normally these have the engine size on the side, yet it's a 2000 GT. Very, very nice it is too. And here is Dan. Hello, Dan.
You alright? How are you?
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Your car is looking rather nice.
Yeah.
So it's,
hours of cleaning and polishing on Wednesday. Yeah.
so yours is it's a bit of a later one than this gold one.
It's nice to have a contrast. That's my friend Mark's. That's an early 2-litre S with the Carla Czech Recaro. This is the later one with the stroke with the fishnets.
Would you mind opening up the door so I can take a look?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. So this car was at the Classic Car Show last November as well. It was one of the thumbnails actually down at Hall 8. A lot of you seem to really like it, so we'll take a look inside. Yes, it's got a different interior, this one. Is it an 83, this one then?
Yes, Mark's
Yeah.
83 registered, yeah.
So
It's a late 4-speed.
yeah, so that one's had a Type 9 put in it, hasn't it, that one?
Yeah, which is a common thing to do.
Yeah, it's
And
just,
this is still the original 4-speed, yeah.
it's just, I sort of, something I don't want to touch anything in here because it's all too perfect.
The mats are new old stock.
Goodness me.
Mats.
I mean, I have driven a Capri 2.8, which would have been in production about the same time as this one, but I can't believe how good and original this is. It's had very, very little done to it, hasn't it?
Yeah, just recommissioning, just a light recommissioning. The bodywork and the paintwork is totally original as it left the factory 40 years ago.
Yeah, it's amazing. So it's exactly 40 years old. It's still got the original plates on the front of there. I mean, there's a couple of marks on it, but I wouldn't personally do anything to it if it were me, because
the little bits like that I've had touched in by a friend of mine who's a paint guy. But apart from that, yeah, everything is original.
It is absolutely amazing. That is, it looks even better on camera than it actually does in real life. The paint looks a different colour. It's actually more like a brick red. On camera, it looks like a bright red, but this is what it is.
It's metallic, certain lights and changes.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Right, so well, I'll leave you to get on, and I will continue. Thank you, sir.
That's great. Cheers.
Right. Devonshire Motor Company are here. Sometimes they have cars with engines that we cannot discuss on the channel, but I don't think we're in danger of that this time. 2008 Audi R8 RS4 Quattro 2-door for £27,000. No beige leather, I'm afraid, viewers. That's sort of white, I should think. It's funny, you know, the sort of cars that we deem to be classics. I suppose it might be changing, but if you just go for cars that are over 15 years old, you get into this territory kind of like this, and I'm not sure people are sort of saying that a Mark II Audi TT is a classic yet. I mean, it's very nice, but I just not quite sure it is. It's funny. So this is a £10,000 car, so this must be, well, it's been reduced. It must be very low mileage, yet it's 22,500 miles. I think this was the base model for the TT convertibles at the time. Not that a base model particularly would ever be in the Audi TT range. This is very new, isn't it? Gosh, this is a 2016 M2 2-door. Yeah. Let's keep going. This is a bit more up my street. 2012 Jaguar XKR 5 litre. Both cars are £34,000. Which one would you have, the BMW or the Jaguar? I'd have the Jaguar, but I would prefer a beige leather interior like in this Mercedes here. And this is a bit cheaper. It's an SL, about £23,000. Yes, we have a beige leather interior. Very nice beige leather interior as well. The wood is very dark wood. It does have it though. So if we go round this way, it's an SL 500. I think we're ultra emission zone compliant in this one as well. Yeah, it's a 2008, so it will be. Excellent views, that's what we like. But I think we like this even more. It's X350 Jaguar XJ. It's even cheaper. 2006, it's a 3 litre V6. So this will be kind of sort of towards the bottom end of the range. Grey leather with wood and a J-gate. I have driven one of these actually on the channel before. I drove a 3.5 V8 version of this, which is around the same age, 2005 last year, and that was very nice. There's a Mark 1 TT here. Personally, for me, I find the shape of the Mark 1 a little bit more pleasing than the Mark 2. I just like this kind of original design, which was very striking when it came out. This came out in 1998. So it's a 225, 6-speed manual, £10,000. You can still buy them for a lot less than that, but that's a very nice example. Another SLK here, 13,000. SLK 280, 2006. There we go. Constantly meeting people we know. It's a hazard of being around here. Another Mark II here. TTS, I will have a 2.5 in it, won't it? I mean, it is nice. I just have to further look at the earlier ones. 18,000 miles from new. I got a TTS and it's a 2 litre. I thought it was a 2.5. I think I better leave before I get told off. Ooh. Oh, viewers. Now this. I know it's an S-Type and it's not even like a S-Type R. It's just a normal 2.5 V6. But it's got a beige leather interior with wood. Not so keen on this colour. I prefer something like dark blue or dark green, but I mean, it will do. I have driven an S-Type on the channel before. It was a 3 litre. I quite liked it, but yeah, I think it's probably a little bit much. You can still buy an S-Type for under £1,000, not really like this, but just about 11,000 miles from new though. Right, what else do we have over here? Do we have some classic Fords? Yes, we do. I know that you viewers do like classic Fords, and we have plenty here. Mark 1 Escort 2-door twin cam. That is, it's immaculate, isn't it? It's been modified a bit. It's a very early one, 67, 68 only on an F. And of course, I think this is Moonstone Blue. Sierra Cosworths hatch. Be very careful, I don't touch anything on this, because we know how much these are worth, don't we, viewers? They're worth a lot of money. Awful lot of money. I think it's left-hand drive, but UK registered. Perhaps it got re-imported. I have white plate for some reason on this. Oh, it's only £65,000. It's a bit of a bargain, isn't it? It's a bit less than that one sold for auction. WV. Now this could actually be a full press car. No, sorry, VW would be the other way around. This probably isn't actually. That's a Brighton plate on that. So what year is this? It's a Series 1 RS Turbo. I'm getting some Cat's Eyes vibes off this because they had an almost identical one in the second series of Cat's Eyes, driven by Leslie Ash. £36,000, so it'd have to be a pretty exceptional one to be that kind of money, but it does look pretty exceptional to me. And then we've got a Lotus Cortina. This one is a Mark II. It's quite a late Mark II on an H. Ex-Thames Valley police car. So it's registered in 1969. One of 10 survivors. How much is it? £50,000. I mean, that is pretty good, isn't it, viewers? Lotus Drivers Club here. Ooh, an M100 Land. It's purple with a beige leather interior. That's pretty amazing. What's it called? Palacio Purple. On an answer 95, 96. This would be a S2, a later one. With the Isuzu engine and some GM parts in there as well. Obviously, at the time this was designed, General Motors had a stake in Lotus, I think. Hence the Isuzu engine and those switches like this straight out of the Vauxhall Amiga. Ooh, we've got an earlier Lotus here. That would be just before the redesign happened, around 87, 88. With the marina door handles this one still has. So I think this will be an 87. Yes, it is. Esprit Turbo HC 87. I mean, that is really nice. I'm tempted to open up the door and have a look at the beige leather interior, but I think we're going to have to not do that. Sort of a bit later on, the For Your Eyes Only Esprit. So actually, there are two of those. Two Esprits. But not quite the same. And then we have Annalise. This is a 2001. That's the Rover K series in it, won't it, this? And the Rover Metro door mirrors. That is very nice. I'm always worried about these, that we're trying to get in and out of them, which would not be elegant for somebody like me. 924 Owners Club here. We're working on a couple of Guards Red 924s. I think that's a bit of a later one from what I can see. I have driven a 924 actually. What's this on the back? Is that the 924 Lux or something? So we'll have a look at this one. A 94 Turbo, excellent. It's a 1980. Yeah, so when I drove was just the standard 2 litre 94. It was a very late one, it was an 85. This is a bit more powerful than that. Very nice wheels on this, isn't it? and it shows you actually that there's a lot of room in the back, although the luggage cover is really strange in these.
Really?
This also has some very nice wheels on it. Yeah, it's a classic colour too, isn't it, the Guards Red? But all three have got very similar wheels on them, which are turbo as well. Excellent wheels. I don't think this one, unless I'm wrong, it could be. Maybe the wheels mean they're turbos. No. Maybe somebody can enlighten me. Let's have a look at some more Lotuses. Oh, viewers, look at this. Oh, Spy Who Loved Me Type 1. Bell and Colville, they're still a Lotus dealer, I think, to this day. They're down near Leatherhead. There's the engine. So yeah, it's a little bit later than the one you spied. I think it was a 76. This is a 77, 78. But that is absolutely, utterly fantastic. Original design. Then we've got an Excel here. Is that perhaps information? It's a 1990 Excel SE. Midnight Blue. It's a different midnight blue from what would have been on contemporary Volvos, actually, because there was also a midnight blue on those. It would be a sort of slightly lighter colour. Let's go trip over anything. There is the boot and things. Right, let's go over and look at some other cars. Just going to squeeze the Marcus Owners Club into this part, and then we will finish and go to part 8. 1965. Marcos 1800, so this will have the 1.8B series in it. There we go, Marcos 1800. There's the road test from Motor Magazine. That looks very purposeful, doesn't it? And then we've got, I think this would be from the 90s. Yes, I'm right. Marcus Mantara, 93-94. Is that a Mark 4 Escort door handle gears? Certainly those switches are out of things like Minis, and that steering wheel and the cowling are a Ford, aren't they? Be a bit more than just a 1.8 in that one though. We've got another early Marcos here. Don't want to touch anything actually, it looks a bit sort of fragile. Oh, I wouldn't want to sit on that seat. Oh, here we go. Brilliant. 1969 Marcos 2-litre V4. Imagine that'd be a Ford V4, won't it? Right, okay, I think that's enough for now. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like this video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again soon for more incorrect information.